Let's bring in Cory Mills, who is an Army combat veteran, former Department of Defense advisor under President Trump, and U.S. congressional candidate in Florida. Cory, good morning to you. So the Supreme Court ruled that the Biden administration can scrap the Remain in Mexico policy. What do you think the practical ramifications of that will be?
Well, I'll tell you, Carly, I think that he is setting an exceptionally dangerous precedent. We already know that we've had over 2 million people come across during the Joe Biden open border policies. You know, he's looking at trying to lift Title 42 and the Remain in Mexico, which the DHS has already said is going to increase us by about 18,000 illegal aliens a day. We know that the overall 100% operational capacity of our current CBP agents are about 3,000. But unfortunately, we're going to be overrun and see numbers like we've never seen before. And to put those into perspective, if you talk about the 11.4 million undocumented citizens that Biden administration claims, the 2 million that's come across in the last year, and the 18,000 a day that we're going to see with the lifting of these policies, you're talking about, if you combining those, making them the fifth most populated city in America. They are wanting this because we all know what they're looking towards. They're looking towards 2022 and 2024 to allow these individuals to cancel our votes and to basically make sure that they're allowed to vote in our elections.
Cory, you're looking to run for Congress. You're looking to be a member of Congress. When you look at the Supreme Court decision, they basically said the ambiguity of this law or this regulation is why they weren't able to essentially uphold the ruling that this regulation has the must and may is basically what they're hung up on. They must deport them or they may deport them. What can Congress do? This is the second regulation this year that the Supreme Court has essentially said, nope, can't do it, can't stick with this.
Well, I'll tell you, the first thing we need to do is we need to go forward and utilize the materials that taxpayers have already paid for that are sitting on the border wall. We need to make sure that we secure our borders. We should supplement that with available tech like surveillance balloons that you, Joey, have seen, as well as I have in Afghanistan and Iraq, that has hundreds of miles of surveillance that can be fed back into a talk. We need to make Title 42 permanent legislation that enables us to go ahead, not just during emergency situations, because we already have that from a humanitarian perspective, from the fentanyl overdoses in America, which is the real weapons of mass destruction. We need to make sure that we defund the sanctuary cities and stop incentivizing these illegal treks. That is leading to further humanitarian crisis. That is leading to further medical and emergency crisis. And we have to start acknowledging the fact that, you know, the Democrats are wanting this only because they're looking at these individuals to come in and vote in our elections. That's why they want to pack the courts, eliminate filibusters, and endanger American lives just so they can maintain power. I think that in Congress, we need to pass stricter regulations that ensure that we have our sovereignty protected here in America.
Let's talk about gas prices. And yesterday, the president had this to say about what Americans can expect in the future and who they should blame. Watch this.
I can understand why the American people are frustrated because of inflation. But inflation is higher in almost every other country. Prices of the pump are higher in almost every other country. We're better positioned to deal with this than anyone, but we have a way to go.
Today, gas prices are at $4.85 per gallon, diesel $5.77. He also said that gas prices are going to remain high for as long as it takes. And if you are a single mom or a small business owner, that's not good enough.
No, it's not. And every single American is suffering as a result of Joe Biden's attack on fossil fuels. We have the ability for energy independence. We have the ability tomorrow, Carly, to go ahead and lower our gas prices. And why? Because our gas prices are not based on the here and now. They're based upon oil futures. If we did things like say that we're going to open up the Keystone XL pipeline or allow for offshore exploration and drilling, we could see an immediate result to go down. But instead, Joe Biden is trying to play gimmicks with these 18-cent tax holidays. And it's not the American people that are worried about 18 cents. It's the $5 in front of that 18 cents. And I'll tell you, to go further into this, we need to start looking at the fact that we cannot depend on adversarial nations. We need to start looking at an America First agenda that gets oil and gas workers back to their jobs, starts looking at our energy independence and ability to try and get our GDP to national debt ratio under control, which is at 137%. But this idea that we can't do anything but rely and blame Russia, this is Joe Biden's attack on fossil fuels is the reason for our gas price increase.
Cory, moving on, it's Independence Day coming up. It's 4th of July. We're going to celebrate a war we fought a couple hundred years ago for independence. Are you still proud to be an American? You served the military. You're about to try to serve again in Congress. Are you still proud to be an American despite all of our challenges and all the things that have us fighting one another every day?
Absolutely. Look, I am blessed to be an American, not just proud, but blessed. I mean, for anyone who was born in America, we know that we have won the lottery. We live in the freest, safest, and most prosperous nation. We are the last shining beacon of freedom and hope in the world. And I think that that's why it is so important come this next election to vote in America First conservatives to protect that fight, to honor those who sacrifice for our independence. And I think that we all need to acknowledge and be proud of what we are, which is proper and true Americans.
Combat veteran, congressional hopeful Cory Mills, thank you for your service, brother. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, brother.
And he doesn't mind getting up early either, because he's always in that 4A block. God bless you for that. Thanks,
He's got
Cory.
more Army left in him than I do Marine in me.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much.